I watched my husband kiss another woman in broad daylight at our favorite cafe. But when she looked up and saw me standing there, she didn't run. She stood up, walked toward me, and said, "You deserve to know the truth." What she told me wasn't an affair. It was so much worse than that. I'm standing outside Morrison's Café on a Tuesday afternoon in October, watching through the window as my husband of 23 years leans across a small table and kisses a woman I've never seen before. The autumn sun is warm on my face. There are pumpkins stacked by the entrance. Someone's playing acoustic guitar inside. Everything feels painfully, absurdly normal, except for the fact that my entire world just shattered like cheap glass. My name is Diane Callahan. I'm 52 years old. I have 2 daughters in college, a mortgage that's finally almost paid off, and until 3 minutes ago, I thought I had a marriage that worked. Not perfect, God knows we've had our struggles, but solid. Real, built on 23 years of shared meals and shared bills and shared exhaustion. I'm telling you this story today because I need you to understand something. Sometimes the people closest to you aren't who you think they are. Sometimes the life you're living isn't even yours. And sometimes, sometimes, the lies go back so far that when the truth finally comes out, you realize you've been living in a carefully constructed illusion for decades. This is the story of how I discovered that my entire marriage was a setup, a transaction, a long con orchestrated by the people who were supposed to love me most. And it started with that kiss. 3 hours earlier. I wasn't supposed to be in town that day. I was supposed to be in Columbus, helping my daughter Emma move into her new apartment near Ohio State. We'd planned it for weeks, rented a U-Haul, taken the day off work, made a whole thing of it. But Emma called that morning, voice tight with stress, telling me not to come. Her roommate's parents were already there. The apartment was too small for more people. It was chaos, she'd call me later. I could hear it in her voice, that edge of annoyance that adult children get when their parents are too present, too involved. So I stayed home. My husband, Kevin, had left early for what he said was a meeting with a potential client. He's in real estate, commercial properties, strip malls, that sort of thing. The kind of work that involves a lot of lunches and handshakes and building relationships. I found myself with a rare, empty Tuesday. No work. I manage medical billing from home. No errands, no obligations. I decided to treat myself to lunch at Morrison's, this little cafe downtown that Kevin and I used to go to when we were dating. They make this incredible cranberry walnut salad, and their coffee is the kind of strong that actually wakes you up. I parked on Main Street, grabbed my purse, and walked the half block to the cafe. That's when I saw them through the window. Kevin was sitting at our table, the corner booth we always requested, the one with the good light and the view of the street. He was leaning forward, animated in a way I hadn't seen him be in years. Across from him sat a woman, maybe late 40s, with dark hair pulled back in a neat bun. Professional looking. Pretty. I froze on the sidewalk. And then he kissed her. Not a peck, not a friendly European cheek kiss. A real kiss. The kind that says, "I know the shape of your mouth." My vision tunneled. My hands went cold. Everything in me screamed to run, to get back in the car, to unsee what I'd just seen. But my feet moved me forward instead. Through the door, past the hostess station, across the cafe floor that suddenly felt like it was made of quicksand. They didn't notice me at first. They were too absorbed in each other, too comfortable. But when I was maybe 10 feet away, the woman looked up. Her eyes met mine. And instead of panic or guilt or shame, I saw something else in her face. Relief. She stood up. Kevin's head whipped around, and the color drained from his face so fast I thought he might actually faint. "Diane," he started, half rising from his seat. But the woman was already walking toward me. She moved with purpose, her expression serious, almost urgent. "You deserve to know the truth," she said, her voice low but firm. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Kevin was on his feet now, reaching for her. "Rachel, don't." "She deserves to know," Rachel snapped at him, shaking off his hand. Then she turned back to me, and her eyes were full of something I couldn't name. Pity, anger, both. "Your husband isn't having an affair with me," she said. I'm his half-sister. The three of us ended up in Kevin's car in the parking lot behind the cafe. Rachel sat in the back seat. Kevin gripped the steering wheel like it was the only thing keeping him from flying apart. I sat in the passenger seat, numb, while Rachel told me a story that rewrote my entire adult life. Kevin's father, who died when Kevin was 19, had another family, a whole other life in Dayton with Rachel's mother. Rachel was 2 years younger than Kevin. They'd known about each other since their father's death, when the will revealed the truth. They'd been in contact, secretly, for over 30 years. Why secretly? I heard myself ask. My voice sounded far away, like it belonged to someone else. Because of the money, Rachel said quietly. Kevin made a sound like he'd been punched. What money? I asked. Rachel looked at Kevin. Tell her. Kevin's hands were shaking. Deanne, Tell her, Kevin. He closed his eyes. When my dad died, he left everything to me. The house, the investments, everything. But there was a condition. If Rachel or her mother ever contested it or made their existence public, I'd lose it all. It would go to some charity foundation. My dad. He didn't want his respectable family tainted by his mistake. So you've been lying to me for 23 years, I said flatly. I didn't know how to tell you. You kissed her, I said. I saw you kiss her. Kevin's face crumpled. She just told me her mom died. She's my sister, Diane. I was comforting her. Rachel leaned forward. That's not why I needed you to know, Diane. The kiss, that's not the problem. The problem is what Kevin did with your money. Ice flooded my veins. What are you talking about? I whispered. Rachel pulled out her phone, scrolled through something, then handed it to me. It was an email, a bank statement, dated 3 weeks ago. I stared at the numbers, at the account name. Callahan Family Trust. At the withdrawal, $127,000. Where did this money go? I asked Kevin. My voice had gone very quiet, very calm, the way it does when you're so angry that rage turns crystalline. Kevin wouldn't look at me. Rachel answered instead, to your sister. The unraveling. My sister's name is Vanessa. She's 4 years younger than me, and our entire lives, she's been the golden child. The pretty one, the fun one, the one who could do no wrong in our mother's eyes. When we were kids, Vanessa got piano lessons while I was told we couldn't afford them. Vanessa got the new clothes while I wore hand-me-downs from cousins. Vanessa went to private school on scholarship that I later learned my parents paid for while I went to the overcrowded public school. When Vanessa got pregnant at 19, our parents helped her get an apartment and paid her rent for 3 years. When I got married at 29, they gave us a toaster. I'd made peace with it, or I thought I had. I'd built my own life, earned my own money, raised my own kids without their help. I told myself I was better for it, stronger, more independent. But this... Explain, I said to Kevin, right now. The story came out in jagged pieces, like he was coughing up glass. 6 months ago, Vanessa had called him. She was in trouble. Her business, some online boutique that sold overpriced crystals and wellness products, was failing. She was going to lose everything. Could he help? Kevin had said no at first. We didn't have that kind of money just lying around. But then Vanessa had done something clever. She'd called my mother. And my mother had called Kevin. She told me, Kevin said, voice cracking, that you had always been taken care of, that Vanessa needed help this time, that it would destroy the family if Vanessa lost her business. She said, he stopped, swallowed. She said you'd had the better life, the stable marriage, the kids in college, the house. She said it was only fair. So you gave her our daughter's college fund, I said. I was going to pay it back, Kevin said desperately. There's this deal coming through, a big commercial property in. Did my mother know where the money was coming from? I interrupted. Silence. Kevin. Yes, he whispered. She knew. I drove home alone. Kevin tried to follow me, but I told him if he came near the house, I'd call the police. I don't know if that was a real threat or not. I wasn't thinking clearly. Rachel had given me her number. Call me if you need anything, she'd said. I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but he's been lying to you about more than just me. I thought you should know." I sat in my driveway for 20 minutes before I could make myself go inside. The house looked the same. The fall wreath I'd hung on the door last week, the recycling bins by the garage, the petunias I'd planted in July, now brown and wilting. Everything looked the same. Everything was different. I called Emma first, then Sarah, my younger daughter at Penn State. I didn't tell them everything, not yet. Just asked how they were, if they needed anything, told them I loved them. Both conversations were brief. Both girls were busy. Both girls were fine. Both girls had no idea that their college funds had been stolen to bail out my sister's failing business. Then I called my mother. "Diane, I was just thinking about you. How was the move with Emma?" My mother's voice was bright, cheerful, the voice of someone with a clear conscience. "It got canceled," I said. "She didn't need my help after all." "Oh, well, that's young people for you, independent to a fault." "Mom, I need to ask you something." "Of course, honey." "Did you know that Kevin gave Vanessa over $100,000 6 months ago?" The silence on the other end was brief but telling. "Well, yes," she said slowly. "Vanessa mentioned Kevin had been kind enough to help her with a short-term loan for the business. It was very generous of him." "It wasn't his money to loan," I said. "It was our daughter's college fund." "Oh," a pause. "Well, I'm sure Kevin wouldn't have done it if you couldn't afford it. You both make good money. And Vanessa was in a real bind. You know how hard she's been working on that business. She just needed a little help getting over the hump." "A little help," I repeated. "Diane, I know you've always been a bit rigid about money, but family helps family. That's how it works." "Did you ask Kevin to do it?" Another pause, longer this time. "I may have mentioned to him that Vanessa was struggling. I may have pointed out that you and Kevin have always been stable, and that maybe it was time to help your sister the way your father and I helped you over the years." "You never helped me," I said quietly. "Diane, you paid for Vanessa's private school, her apartment, her car. You paid for her wedding. You gave her the down payment on her house. You've given her money every time she's asked for it. You've never given me a dime." "That's not fair," my mother said, her voice sharpening. "You've never needed it. You married well. You have a good job. Vanessa has always struggled more. She's more sensitive. She needs more support. So you thought it was fair to steal from my children to give to her." "No one stole anything," my mother snapped. "Kevin made a decision to help his sister-in-law, as he should have. Honestly, Diane, I'm disappointed in your reaction. This is exactly the kind of selfishness that—" I hung up. I sat on my couch, in my living room, in the house I'd spent 23 years making into a home, and I felt something crack open inside me. Not break, crack like an egg, like something was hatching. The reckoning. Over the next 2 weeks, I did something I'd never done before. I investigated my own life. I hired a forensic accountant. I pulled every bank record, every tax return, every investment statement from the last 2 decades. I called Rachel and asked her every question I could think of about Kevin's family, his inheritance, his business deals. What I found was worse than I'd imagined. Kevin hadn't just given Vanessa our daughter's college fund. He'd been funneling money to my mother and sister for years. Small amounts at first, $500 here, $1,000 there. Loans that were never repaid. Investments in Vanessa's various failed businesses. Help with my mother's medical bills that I later discovered were mostly cosmetic procedures. The money that should have gone to retirement, to the girls' education, to our future, it had been slowly, steadily siphoned away. And Kevin had hidden it all. Separate accounts, cash withdrawals, transfers disguised as business expenses. The forensic accountant estimated that over the course of our marriage, Kevin had given my mother and sister somewhere between $300,000 and $400,000. I'd worked full-time for 23 years. I'd scrimped and saved and clipped coupons and bought store-brand everything so we could build a future. And my husband had given it away to the family that had never once chosen me. I filed for divorce on November 1st. Kevin begged. He cried. He swore he'd pay it all back, that he'd fix everything, that he'd never lie again. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just handed him the papers and told him to get out of the house. He moved in with his friend from work. I kept the house. My mother called every day for a week. I didn't answer. Finally, she showed up at my door. "Deanne, you're tearing this family apart," she said, standing on my porch, her face tight with anger. "Over money. Do you understand how selfish that makes you look?" "Get off my property," I said. "I'm your mother." "You've never been my mother," I said. "You've been Vanessa's mother. I've just been the responsible one you didn't have to worry about." That's a horrible thing to say. It's the truth, and if you don't leave right now, I'm calling the police. She left, but not before saying, "You're going to regret this." I didn't go scorched earth. I didn't blast them on social media or send mass emails to the family or ruin anyone's reputation. I did something quieter, more permanent. I sold the house. It was in my name only, something Kevin and I had done years ago for tax reasons that now turned out to be a blessing. I sold it for $485,000, paid off the mortgage, and split the remaining equity with Kevin as required by the divorce settlement. I took my half and disappeared. Not literally, but I moved 4 hours away to Pittsburgh, where Sarah was in school. I got a small apartment near campus, started a new job doing medical billing for a hospital system, cut off all contact with my mother and Vanessa. Emma was hurt at first. She didn't understand why I'd moved, why I'd left her dad, why I wouldn't talk to Grandma. Sarah was more understanding. She'd always been more perceptive. Over Christmas break, I sat them both down and told them everything. The money, the lies, the way their college funds had been stolen to fund their aunt's lifestyle. They were devastated. Emma cried. Sarah got angry. Both of them called their father and their grandmother and their aunt. Both of them got the same defensiveness, the same gaslighting, the same accusations that I was the one tearing the family apart. Both of them made their own choices about who to believe. Kevin's big commercial deal fell through in January. Without the money he'd given to Vanessa, without the stability of our marriage, without my income to fall back on, his business started to crumble. He called me in March, asking if I'd consider reconciliation. Not because he loved me, though he claimed he did, but because he was drowning financially and he needed help. I said no. Vanessa's business finally failed in April. She filed for bankruptcy. My mother called me then, too, asking if I could help Vanessa get back on her feet. I said no. By summer, my mother and Vanessa had both started posting cryptic things on Facebook about toxic family members and cutting off people who don't support you. I blocked them both. 1 year later. I'm 53 now. I live in a small 2-bedroom apartment in Pittsburgh. I see Sarah twice a week for dinner. Emma comes to visit once a month from Columbus. Both girls are doing well in school. They both got scholarships and took out modest loans to cover what the stolen funds would have paid for. They're not speaking to their father. They're not speaking to their grandmother or aunt. Not because I asked them not to, but because they saw the truth and they made their own choices. Kevin sends child support for Sarah, who's still technically a dependent, and alimony as required by the divorce settlement. He's struggling. I hear through mutual friends that he's had to downsize his business, sell his car, move into a smaller place. I don't feel sorry for him. My mother tried to reach out last month through a cousin, said she wanted to mend fences, said she missed me, said couldn't we move past this. I didn't respond. Because here's what I've learned. Some betrayals don't get to be forgiven just because time has passed. Some people don't get unlimited chances to hurt you just because they're family. I spent 52 years being the good daughter, the responsible one, the one who didn't make waves. I spent 23 years being the wife who sacrificed and saved and kept everything together while my husband gave away our future to people who never once put me first. I'm done. I'm not angry anymore. I'm not bitter. I'm just free. I go to therapy every week. I've started painting again, something I used to love in college but gave up because there was never time. I've made new friends. I've started dating, carefully, slowly, someone I met through a book club. I've built a life that's actually mine. To you. If you're watching this and any part of my story feels familiar, if you're the one who always gives, who always sacrifices, who always keeps the peace, I want you to hear this. You don't owe anyone your life. Not your parents, not your siblings, not even your spouse. You don't have to keep giving to people who only take. You don't have to keep forgiving people who never apologize. You don't have to keep lighting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Family is supposed to be the people who love you, support you, choose you. If the people in your family don't do that, if they use you, lie to you, steal from you, and then blame you for being hurt, then they're not family. They're just people you happen to be related to. And you can walk away. It won't be easy. People will judge you. People will say you're cold, selfish, unforgiving. People will say family is supposed to forgive everything, that blood is thicker than water. But here's the full quote. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. The bonds you choose are stronger than the bonds you're born into. I chose to leave. I chose to start over. I chose to stop being the person everyone else wanted me to be and start being the person I actually am. And you can too. It's not too late. It's never too late. You deserve a life where you come first, where your needs matter, where your voice is heard. You deserve to be chosen. And if the people around you won't choose you, then choose yourself. I did, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually happy. Not because everything is perfect, not because I don't still have hard days, but because I'm free. And freedom, real freedom, is worth everything.